Okay guys, so now we're going to go in with highlights and shadows. So I'm going to put some black and some white paint on my little palette here. And I have my smaller brush that I'm going to use. So my hair is pretty dark and my base color is this medium brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add some black on top of the brown. And I know that my roots are a little darker than my ends, so that's why I'm starting at the top. Because the top of my hair stays dark, but the bottom of my hair, when the sun hits it, it gets lighter. So I'm using this smaller brush to just kind of feather in some darker values. And I know that when it's back behind my neck, it looks a little darker because it's a shadow. So again, just using this brush to very lightly feather in some shadows, and then maybe in a little bit I'll go in with highlights too. And that's why we didn't have to wait for this to dry, because we're kind of mixing the brown and the black together to get like an overall darker brown. And maybe even add some texture. And see what I mean, how I'm painting over where there's blue. So if you got some blue into where your hair was supposed to be, that's okay, because we're painting over it. And again, you guys, if you want to use, I don't know, say purple in your hair, go for it. And maybe I will put some detail, or more like define, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Define the edge where my bangs are, which have grown out now, so they're a little longer. Okay, so while I'm here painting the hair, I think I'm also going to maybe, hopefully, put some eyebrows and maybe even paint the eyes, because my eyes are almost as dark as my hair too. So I'm going to take this brush, the small one, because it is for a smaller detail, and I'm going to paint in my drawing where I see eyebrows, just so that I'm not trying to match the color again later. And there. And again, my eyes, just so that I'm not trying to remix this brown-black combo, I'm going to also paint, it's called the iris, which is the circular part of the eye that is colored. So maybe yours is brown too, maybe it's green, maybe it's blue, I don't know. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to get some blue and some more red, and I am going to start to add some shadows into the sweater, because I don't have a purple, and as we know, blue and red together make purple. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to mix these together. Hopefully make a really pretty burgundy color, because that is a sweater that I wear, or a color of a sweater that I wear a lot. I have a couple of them. They're all burgundy. Okay, so that's close enough. And I'm going to go in and I am going to apply the paint in a way that is a little bit textured, and see how the underpainting color is coming through, making those nice highlights. And the reason I want it to be textured is because I want it to kind of look like a knit sweater, if that makes sense. So I really like that texture of a knitted sweater. I wish I knew how to knit, make my own sweaters, maybe one day. And I'm just applying it in a way that is textured. And again, I did not let the pink underpainting dry completely because I knew I wanted that to kind of come through a little bit. And getting a nice texture. I might need to make more of that color. And so this is going in, since I'm adding a darker color, that's technically, I'm adding a shadow on top of that nice pretty pink underpainting. Okay, now I'm going to take some black and kind of define, since I lost the definition of where the arms would be, I'm going to just take some black and kind of make a mark where, you know, the arms would be. And I'm going to leave that alone for now because I need to add some highlights. And again, I'm not painting the table, I'm painting the paper that's on the table to dry my brush. And I'm going to take some white and I'm going to put some highlights where the light would hit my face. So, you know, your nose tends to stick out farther from your face than, say, you know, the underneath part of your eye. So I put some white there. I want to put some white on my chin because your chin also sometimes catches some light. Maybe cheekbones too. Get some highlight. And then I need to paint the eye with some white too, because, you know, generally eyes are white around the iris. And cool. Okay, so I've painted some highlights on the face, and now we want to get back into, if we have any of this peach left, which it looks like we have a little bit, add some more brown to it and paint some shadows. So I'm putting a shadow under the eye because that's where I get shadows on my face. And some shadow under and around the nose, maybe to make the nose stand out. Okay, and I'm going to borrow some of this pink over here and some of the burgundy for the lips. Okay, and I'm gonna just let that dry for a little, and then I will go back through and add some more details.